the saga of the Drumcree March has reached a new extraordinary stage. Some of the most powerful people here and abroad are now bearing down on the residents of the tiny housing estate just outside Portadown. President Clinton has pleaded for compromise. The Irish Prime Minister Bertie Ahern has had an official on the spot negotiating with residents. And now Tony Blair is here, lending his weight to the search for agreement ahead of Sunday's Drumcree March. The Prime Minister's aides emphasised, though, that the primary aim of the trip was to congratulate Northern Ireland's new leaders. Mr Blair got a stark reminder of what is at stake if Drumcree sparks more violence. He visited one of 10 Catholic churches torched by loyalist paramilitaries overnight.
You're going to get acts of violence and acts of wanton destruction. But what the extremists that carry out the acts of violence like this want is for people to say, well, it's hopeless, nothing can happen, there can't be any future for us. But these extremists, they don't represent people in Northern Ireland. They're not the people who should determine the future in Northern Ireland. The future in Northern Ireland should be determined by the people, through democracy, through the ballot box.
On his first full day in office, the Deputy First Minister, Seamus Mallon, found himself back at the Stormont office block, where the Good Friday deal was struck. This time trying to avert a weekend of violence that threatens to destabilise the whole agreement.
We're having a meeting now, very, very shortly, and we will be trying to see if a resolution is possible.
Are you optimistic that will happen?
I'm not without hope, but I wouldn't describe myself as being optimistic.
Orange Order representatives joined David Trimble and Seamus Mallon for the talks. The Orange Order says it does not recognise the Independent Parades Commission ruling barring its march through the Catholic Gavahi Road estates of Portadown. And for much of the day, it looked like the government didn't fancy upholding the Parades Commission ruling either. The Irish government has had an official in Portadown trying to get the community group head, Brendan McKenna, to allow some sort of scaled-down orange parade through. But Mr McKenna was not invited to today's Stormont talks.
We're completely out of touch because it seems to me that there's a lot of machinations going on. The people that matter are being left out of the equation. I can only assume from that, and it's the hope of this community, that we can only assume that the Orange Order and the Unionist leadership are being told that the rule of law is going to be upheld this weekend, that the Parades Commission decision will not be overturned through the use of force or the threat of violence.
The burnt-out Catholic churches across Northern Ireland are the latest manifestation of violent intimidation. And the political leaders gathered at Stormont know they risk the appearance of giving in to such acts if they try to overturn the ban on Sunday's Drumcree March. But in the new Northern Ireland, where pragmatism is king, that appears to be precisely what is being explored.